Rod Graphing Podcast. My name is Rod Graphing, in case you didn't know. And I'm rolling down the road here in the great state of Texas. Heard something interesting yesterday, I believe it was. Michael Moore was on one of the late night TV shows talking about a conversation he had with the Pope, the Holy Father. And in the conversation, Michael Moore asked the Pope, Father, do you think that our current form of capitalism in the United States of America is a sin? And the pontiff replied, yes, my son, it is a sin. In its current form, it is absolutely a sin because it benefits only the wealthy. Now, go forward and make more movies. That's literally what Michael Moore said, the Pope said. The Pope told Michael Moore he needed to go make some more movies. Well, good for Michael Moore. But that got me thinking. How do we stack up against the rest of the world in this evil, capitalistic society we find ourselves living in? Where only the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And we're all suffering and struggling every day while the wealthy are taking money out of our pockets left and right, constantly milking us, taking money right out of my bank account every day, making me miserable. The rich, the evil rich. I know. So I went where else but to Google. And did just a tiny bit of research. It took me, I don't know, less than a minute. And here's what I found. The average household income in the world, average, is about $9,000 a month. Yeesh. The average household income in the United States of America is about $48,000 a month. The top country in the world for average household income, meaning the most income on average per household in the world, was Norway at $51,000 a month. I have to, nope, my memory is slipping. United States is not at 48,000, because if somebody fact checks me, oh my God, I'll be on friggin' Snopes. Claim is that Rod Graphing says that the average household income in the United States is 48,000. Mostly false. It was 43,000. Average household income in the United States of America, 43 grand. Top country in the world, Norway, 51 grand. Now I looked at the top 5, and they're all those Nordic socialist countries that get mentioned constantly on Facebook. You know, the one that Bernie Sanders, you all be dead if it wasn't for my son David. Bernie Sanders wants us to be Norway. Many other people want us to be Norway. I particularly don't want us to be Norway. Thank you very much. Norway at the top, Sweden, Denmark, Luxembourg was up in there. They were all, that's the top 5. Where does the United States fall? Number 6. So my mind, my intellectual processing skills go to work, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, if the top 5 countries, these little tiny countries that are basically the size of one of our states, if they're doing so well as far as average household income goes, and we're right at the top, hey folks, we're right at the top. We're above Canada. We're above every other major country out there. As far as population goes, as far as big countries go, we're number 1. Our evil capitalist society is number 1 at $43,000 a month. A year. I said a month earlier. I meant year. Another correction. Crap. $9,000 a year is the low. $43,000 a year, not a month. Very important distinction there. If we're where we are, right up there at the top, just outside the top 5, then how is it that our evil capitalist society that only benefits the wealthy is such a sin? Michael Moore and Pope Francis? How is that possible? I mean, this is a subject that's been talked about ad infinitum, especially with midterms coming up. Rich don't pay their fair share. Well, apparently in the United States they do. If we're that far up the food chain, apparently living in the good old US of A in our capitalist society isn't such a bad deal. We got it pretty good over here, don't you think? I mean, we're right up there with socialist countries. We're on par with what many on the left want. So what are you saying? Are you saying if we become a democratic socialist country, we will surpass Norway and we'll have an average household yearly income of $52,000 a year instead of $43,000? The fact of the matter is, Michael Moore and Pope Francis, our evil American capitalist system works pretty freaking good. When our poorest of the poor are considered wealthy by many middle-class people in other countries, I think our capitalist system is working just fine. I don't think our capitalist system is leaving people behind at all. I think the vast majority of us have it really good here. Even those of us who don't think we have it so good actually do. Now, don't get me wrong. Is there room for improvement in our capitalist system? Absolutely there is. Could there be some things done differently? Most certainly. Do corporations receive far too much in tax breaks? Absolutely they do. Do the rich get away with bloody murder a lot of the time? Absolutely. If you think I'm coming here to say that, I like it just the way it is and I'm fine with it, I'm not. But I'm also not going to sit here and let somebody, a blowhard like Michael Moore, an irrelevant blowhard who's done nothing in the last decade that I can think of, I'm not going to let a guy like that sit on national TV and trash a system that seems to be working just fine for his own political gain while he talks to a pope who's obviously anti-capitalist. And what's Michael Moore doing talking to the pope anyway? Why is Michael Moore having a meeting with the freaking pope? They agreed that they would pray for each other. I don't ask me why I find that funny. I guess I just do. I mean, I heard the clip. It's out there. Go on YouTube if you want to watch it yourself. You don't believe me. Capitalism works. It absolutely works. Socialism does not. It's failed everywhere it's been tried. But Rod, you just said the top 5 countries. The top 5 countries are socialist countries. All those, Nordic places over there. They got it figured out. No, they don't. They're living on past money. That's all it is. They're living on their grandparents' money is the bottom line. They're not going to be able to maintain that forever. That's already slowing down. Capitalism is far from perfect. Far from perfect. There is no perfect model. There's no perfect economic model. But for my money, capitalism is the best model. Capitalism is the most equal model. It's the model that gives equal opportunity to the vast majority of people rather than a select few. I know that probably goes counter to what you think of capitalism. You think capitalism only benefits the select few, but the numbers don't lie. The numbers I cited do not lie. But Rod, where'd you get those numbers from? Some right-wing, blog? No, I don't remember where I got them from. But it wasn't a right-wing blog. It was some... I do remember now. It took me a minute. It was from Gallup. That's right, Gallup. Gallup did a study. You know, the polling company, the same polling company that got all the polls wrong last election and probably will this time too. So, you know what? You got a good point. Maybe I'm flawed. Maybe my little position here is flawed based on who's presenting the information. No, it's pretty hard to mess that up. Polling is guessing. And this study was actually a study that was done. So it's kind of hard to, mess that up. So you're not guessing at people's income. It's actual. All right, I'd like to have your opinion on this. You agree capitalism is the best form of economy, or socialism is the best form of economy? Should we become a democratic socialist country? Are there some of you out there who think that's viable? Something we should try for? I'd like to know. rodgraphic@gmail.com. Comment when I post this on Facebook. You're already listening to it, so please leave a comment in the comments section, and please share my podcast. Thanks for listening.